Joro is a ugly loser who got rejected by his best friend like stepsister. But his boring life is about to take a crazy turn when the cute, busty girl confesses her love to him. Now, every girls get jealous and get clapped by him. But before all that happens, let's go back to where it all started. Joro begins his second year of high school, and first thing in the morning, he gets his usual special treatment from his childhood friend, Himawari. She happily grabs his arm and sticks close to him, making Joro extremely aware of how close she is. When they reach the classroom, Taiyo greets them with his usual energy. He laughs and says he's happy Joro and Himawari are still so close, and he's glad they'll all be classmates again this year. A little later, Joro is about to head to the student council room when Cosmos, the beautiful student council president, suddenly walks into the classroom. She announces that she's here to see her precious student council secretary, Joro. Taiyo immediately starts teasing him, clearly jealous that Cosmos called Joro precious. At the same time, Himawari quietly gets jealous after seeing the two together. Later, after the student council meeting ends, Cosmos starts acting strangely. Out of nowhere, she asks Joro if he'd like to go out with her. On Saturday, Joro is completely shocked. There's no way he's saying no to a date with the most popular beauty in school, so he happily agrees. That night, Joro is on cloud 9, but then Himawari sends him a message asking if he wants to hang out on Saturday too. Since he already has plans with Cosmos, he suggests Sunday instead, and thankfully, Himawari agrees. Saturday finally arrives. Joro waits at the meeting spot, feeling both nervous and excited. Then Cosmos shows up looking absolutely gorgeous. The two spend the whole day together. They visit a cafe, shop for clothes, enjoy a picnic, and everything feels like a perfect romantic date. As the sun begins to set, Cosmos asks Joro to sit with her on a bench. She looks nervous, shy, and unusually sweet. She starts talking about being in love. She says that just thinking about that special person makes her heart race, and seeing them always makes her happy. At this point, Joro is convinced his love story is finally about to begin. He even prepares himself for a kiss. But then, Cosmos drops a massive bomb. She's actually in love with Joro's best friend, Taiyo. Just like that, Joro's dreams are completely destroyed. Cosmos explains that it all started after the last baseball tournament. After the team lost, Taiyo comforted all his teammates. But once he thought nobody was watching, he went into the locker room and cried in frustration. Seeing that side of him made Cosmos fall in love. She then begs Joro to help her get closer to Taiyo since they're best friends. Joro feels like he's been hit by lightning. Still, after seeing her desperate puppy eyes, he gives in and agrees to help. The next day is Joro's outing with Himawari. Even though he's still emotionally broken, he tries to enjoy himself. Himawari quickly notices that something is bothering him. To cheer him up, she suddenly jumps onto his back and gives him a big hug. Joro completely panics, but he can't help thanking her for making him feel a little better. Despite everything, the day goes well. They have lunch together, visit a sports shop, and relax at a nearby playground. Just when Joro thinks the day is over, Himawari asks him to sit beside her on a bench. The moment he sees that bench, oh no, here we go again. Himawari suddenly becomes nervous and says there's something important she wants to tell him. That instantly reminds Joro of Cosmos, and unfortunately, at his worst fear comes true. Himawari confesses that she's in love with Taiyo. She explains that she also fell for him during the same baseball tournament. The only difference is that she saw Taiyo crying from the west entrance, while Cosmos saw him from the east entrance. Now she's asking Joro to help her get closer to him too. For Joro, this is a double knockout. Two girls, two heartbreaks. Both are chasing the exact same guy, and somehow, they both expect him to play Cupid. Even so, he can't bring himself to refuse Himawari, so once again, he agrees. That night, Joro completely loses it. He's tired of pretending to be the nice guy. All he ever wanted was for just one girl to genuinely like him, so he could enjoy a normal high school romance. Instead, it's always Taiyo this and Taiyo that. Naturally, he's furious, but then he realizes something. If two girls are competing for the same guy, one of them has to lose. And if he helps both of them, maybe he'll have a chance with the girl who gets rejected. You can do it! The next morning, Joro drags himself to school with his soul completely crushed. Himawari greets him with her usual bright smile, but this time, Joro secretly resents it. In his eyes, she's just using him to get closer to the guy she likes. Without holding back, he tells her that Cosmos confessed her feelings for Taiyo in exactly the same way she did. Himawari isn't surprised at all. She says she already had a feeling something was going on when Cosmos walked into the classroom the other day. When Joro tells her that he's going to help both girls, Himawari pouts because she thinks he isn't taking her side. Joro quickly explains that he's staying completely neutral. Happy with that answer, Himawari gives him another hug, but instead of enjoying it, Joro gets annoyed. He knows she doesn't actually like him, so he can't understand why she keeps acting so close to him. Still, he comes up with a plan. The next morning, he tells Himawari not to walk into class with him. As expected, Taiyo notices that she's missing. Unfortunately, Himawari almost ruins the plan by acting so nervous that she looks completely suspicious. Joro has to think fast. He tells Taiyo that he has student council work to do and leaves Himawari alone with him so they can talk. talk. Later, Joro heads to the student council room. There, he meets Cosmos, but now he sees her very differently. Instead of the perfect school idol, he sees another girl who accidentally crushed his innocent heart. When he tells her that Himawari is also trying to get close to Tayo, Cosmos immediately wants Joro to support only her. But Joro refuses. He tells her that he's helping both of them equally. Then he reveals that he already has a plan for her. Cosmos gets so excited that she grabs his hand with a bright smile. Instead of feeling happy, Joro only gets more irritated because he knows that gesture doesn't mean anything. His plan is simple. Cosmos just has to start a conversation with Tayo about baseball. Sounds easy, except she completely freezes. She gets nervous, barely says anything, and wastes the perfect chance. For the rest of the day, both Cosmos and Himawari keep asking Joro for more help. Completely exhausted, he escapes to the library. Unfortunately, that's where he runs into the strangest girl in school, Pansy. She's the library manager, and she has a creepy habit of talking to Joro in a very unsettling way. She asks him to sit down and chat with her. Joro tries to ignore her. Big mistake. Pansy calmly threatens to expose all of his secrets unless he talks to her. Joro is shocked. She somehow knows everything. She knows about Cosmos. She knows about Himawari. She even knows about his plan to play Cupid for both of them. When Joro demands to know how she found out, Pansy simply smiles and admits that she's been stalking him. Then she asks him to sit with her, and somehow that same cursed bench appears again. At this point, Joro is convinced she must be about to confess her love for Tayo too. But this time, he's completely wrong. Instead, Pansy calmly confesses that she's in love with Joro.
Oh my god!
Mission accomplished. Joro immediately switches into his usual nice guy mode. Pansy shuts that down instantly. She tells him to stop pretending because she isn't interested in the fake, polite version of him. The person she likes is the real Joro, the sarcastic, edgy one. Surprisingly, she doesn't ask him to date her. She only has one request. She wants Joro to eat lunch with her in the library every single day. Joro has no choice but to keep his promise. Every lunch break, he eats with Pansy in the library. Whenever he acts uninterested or tries to avoid talking, Pansy reminds him that she can expose all his secrets to Tayo. In other words, he's being blackmailed into hanging out with her. One day, she gives him some homemade cookies. Then she leans in with a teasing smile and asks how his matchmaking plans are going. First is Himawari. She wants to watch a movie and already has 2 tickets. But instead of inviting Tayo herself, she asks Joro to do it. Joro asks the obvious question. Why don't you just invite him yourself? Himawari gets annoyed, hugs him again, and says that since he's Tayo's best friend, he should handle it. So Joro comes up with another plan. He tells Tayo that he accidentally bought 2 movie tickets for a film he's already seen. Instead of wasting them, he suggests Tayo invite someone else, maybe Himawari. Everything almost falls apart when Himawari suddenly appears and starts acting way too excited. Luckily, Joro quickly makes up another excuse to save the situation. In the end, Himawari successfully gets her movie date with Tayo. Next comes Cosmos. She arrives carrying a homemade bento. Joro immediately knows exactly what she wants. She wants to have lunch with Tayo, so he makes another plan. He leads Tayo toward the student council room where Cosmos is waiting to invite him herself. But the moment Tayo arrives, Cosmos freezes again. She stands there so stiff that she looks like a dramatic samurai statue. Joro sighs and ends up inviting Tayo himself. Tayo agrees. Then he asks Joro to join them for lunch too. Joro quickly lies and says he already has some beautiful girls waiting for him. Then he leaves so the 2 of them can eat together. Later, Pansy quietly listens as Joro tells her everything. Then she points out something painfully obvious. He's been so busy helping everyone else that he never stopped to ask one important question. Who does Tayo actually like? During gym class, Joro finally decides to ask him directly. Tayo immediately gets embarrassed and says they should talk somewhere private. And of course, they end up at that same cursed bench again. At this point, Joro is expecting another complicated love confession, and he isn't disappointed. Tayo reveals that the girl he likes is Pansy. He explains that after losing the baseball tournament, Pansy encouraged him near the south gate. Ever since then, he hasn't been able to stop thinking about her. Now he wants Joro's help to get closer to her. Joro instantly realizes he's in serious trouble. To avoid getting dragged into another mess, he lies and says he isn't actually that close to Pansy. As they finish talking, Tayo compares the situation to baseball and asks Joro what he would do. Joro tells him to stop relying on other people and go hit his own home run. Now Joro has a difficult choice. Should he keep helping Himawari and Cosmos chase Tayo, or should he help Tayo chase Pansy? In the end, he chooses to help Tayo. He arranges to meet Pansy and acts strangely the entire time. Pansy notices immediately. Joro nervously asks how she feels about Tayo. She instantly understands what what's happening. Without hesitation, she rejects the idea. She says she doesn't like Tayo at all. The only person she likes is standing right in front of her. Joro still tries to convince her to give Tayo a chance. Pansy pulls her hand away and tells him to stop. People nearby begin whispering. Pansy looks genuinely hurt. All she wanted was to spend a little time with Joro. Instead, he's trying to push her toward someone else. Just then, Tayo walks in. He sees Joro with Pansy. Even though Joro claimed they barely knew each other, Tayo is ready to question him. Joro completely freezes. Before things get worse, Pansy steps in and saves him. She lies and says they were only discussing a library inspection because the library might be forced to close. Tayo accepts the explanation. Later, Pansy sends Joro a message. She tells him not to come to the library for now and to return on Monday instead. Joro follows her advice. Over the next few days, he focuses on helping Cosmos and Himawari get closer to Tayo. Then one night, Cosmos suddenly asks him to meet. The moment Joro sees her, he can tell something is seriously wrong. She looks furious. It turns out Tayo confessed that he likes Pansy and even asked Cosmos to help him. Cosmos realizes that Joro already knew the truth all along. She feels completely betrayed. Joro tries to explain that he didn't want to hurt her, but Cosmos refuses to listen. Because of his baseball advice, she's now stuck helping the boy she loves chase another girl. Angry and heartbroken, she calls Joro a jerk before walking away. Not long after that, Himawari messages him too. Joro rushes to her house, and it's the exact same situation. Tayo confessed that he likes Pansy and asked Himawari for help as well. She's upset that Joro never warned her. No matter how much he tries to explain, she refuses to listen. She gets angry and shuts him out completely. The next morning, Himawari doesn't walk to school with him. Cosmos is also missing from the student council room. Then Joro receives a message from Pansy asking him to meet her in the library. When he arrives, Pansy finally tells him the truth. Things are about to get a whole lot messier. Everything Joro did to help the girls has now become completely pointless. After learning the truth, both Cosmos and Himawari give up on chasing Tayo. Instead, they decide to help him win Pansy's heart. Before Joro can even react, the library doors suddenly open. To his surprise, Himawari, Cosmos, and Tayo all walk in together. Looks like the chaos isn't over yet. Tayo immediately confronts Joro and asks if he lied to him. Joro tries to explain himself, but nobody lets him speak. One after another, they all start accusing him of lying and manipulating Cosmos and Himawari. Cosmos says she completely misjudged him and thought he was a trustworthy underclassman. Himawari says she's disappointed because she always believed he was a good friend. Funny enough, none of them seem to remember that they were the ones who begged him for help in the first place. At that point, Joro finally snaps. He lets out every bit of frustration he's been holding back. He tells them they all wanted the easy way out. Instead of confessing their feelings themselves, they expected him to fix everything for them. Now that everything has fallen apart, they're blaming him. They kept saying he was important to them, but in reality, they only treated him like a convenient tool to get closer to Tayo. Joro believes telling the truth will finally make them understand. Then Pansy asks one simple question. If you were helping Cosmos and Himawari get together with Tayo, then why were you also trying to convince me to accept Tayo? The entire room goes silent. Now everyone is staring at Joro again. From their point of view, it looks like he's been playing every side. Before Joro can explain himself, Tayo punches him. Then he drags Joro out of the library and tells him he doesn't deserve to be around any of them. Just before the library door closes, Pansy quietly whispers to Joro, "Trust me." Soon after, rumors spread across the entire school. A girl who witnessed everything in the library tells everyone what happened. Before long, Joro is known as the manipulative liar of the school. Someone vandalizes his shoes. Cosmos tells him not to come to the student council room anymore. Even his usual lunch table becomes a joke after someone turns it into a mini golf course. Just when he thinks life can't get any worse, Pansy sends him a message. She tells him to come to the library during lunch. She also warns him that if he doesn't show up, things will only get worse. Joro arrives demanding answers. Instead of explaining anything, Pansy calmly tells him to grab a book from one of the shelves in the back. Confused, Joro hides there. A few moments later, Tayo walks into the library. Recently, he's been visiting often to talk with Pansy. He even invites her to come watch his baseball practice. Then Pansy finally makes her move. She tells Tayo there's something she wants to say. Tayo immediately lights up, clearly expecting a confession. Instead, Pansy asks him why he lied to Joro and framed him. Tayo freezes. Pansy calmly explains everything. She already figured out that Tayo had known about Cosmos and Himawari's feelings for him long ago. Instead of being honest, he used their feelings to set Joro up. Tayo noticed both girls liked him. He simply pretended not to notice. Then he manipulated the situation so both girls would end up blaming Joro. When Joro refused to help Tayo get closer to Pansy, Tayo changed his plan. He used Cosmos and Himawari to get close to Pansy while making Joro look like the bad guy. The funny part? Joro was actually the one trying to convince Pansy to give Tayo a chance. Finally, Tayo breaks down. He admits that he did everything because he had already lost to Joro once before. Back then, there was a girl he liked, but she ended up falling for Joro instead. He even tried exposing Joro's real personality. It didn't matter. The girl still chose Joro. Now Pansy likes Joro too. He couldn't handle losing again, so he decided to destroy Joro's friendships just so Joro could feel the same pain. Then Tayo starts laughing. He says it was surprisingly easy to fool Cosmos and Himawari because they were so naive. Finally, he asks Pansy why she likes Joro in the first place. Pansy looks him straight in the eye. She says he doesn't understand Joro at all. She explains that Joro always put Tayo before himself. Even while helping Cosmos and Himawari, he was also trying to help Tayo get closer to Pansy. That's exactly why she could never fall for someone who would betray a friend like that. Then Pansy reveals the truth. She has liked Joro ever since the last baseball tournament, not because of the game itself, but because of what happened afterward. After Tayo lost, everyone else laughed at him. Joro didn't. Instead, he quietly waited for Tayo with all of his favorite food. That was the moment she fell in love with him. Joro is completely shocked. He doesn't even remember meeting Pansy that day. The only thing he remembers is getting distracted by a mysterious, beautiful girl with a very impressive figure. Pansy simply smiles. After watching Joro care more about his friend than himself, she knew he was the kind of person anyone could fall for. But Tayo still refuses to give up. Thinking the library is empty, except for the two of them, he desperately tries to make a move on Pansy. Pansy doesn't react at all. She already knows Joro is still hiding nearby. Right on cue, Joro steps out from behind the bookshelves. Tayo is completely stunned. Joro calmly faces him. He admits that Cosmos and Himawari may have been a little naive, but that doesn't give Tayo the right to play with their feelings. If Tayo is angry at him, then he should take it out on him alone. Cosmos and Himawari truly cared about Tayo. Their feelings were real. They didn't deserve to be used. Joro tells Tayo to apologize to both of them. After everything that's happened, Tayo quietly agrees. Then Tayo asks Joro one last question. What about all those horrible rumors everyone is spreading about you? Joro simply shrugs. He says he'll accept the consequences of his own mistakes. Hearing that, Tayo realizes he's lost to Joro once again. Not because of strength, but because of Joro's kindness. After Tayo leaves, Pansy apologizes for putting Joro on the spot earlier. Joro brushes it off and says it's no big deal. Pansy tells him she still loves him, but Joro simply walks away. He says he won't be coming back. After Joro leaves, Pansy quietly calls out to someone. From their hiding place, Cosmos and Himawari step out. They had been listening to everything the entire time. The next morning, Joro heads to school expecting another day of bullying. Instead, he finds Cosmos standing beside his shoe locker. She had been guarding it. She apologizes to him, and when Joro opens the locker, he finds his shoes completely clean. When he enters the classroom, Himawari is standing beside his desk, making sure nobody touches it. After school, Tayo stands in front of the entire class. He apologizes to everyone and finally tells the truth about everything he did. After everything settles down, Joro tells Pansy how it all turned out. She smiles and asks if he's ever wondered why Tayo fell for her in the first place. Joro simply says he never really thought about it. Then, without warning, Pansy stands up and completely changes. She drops her plain, quiet appearance and reveals her real look. She's actually the beautiful girl Joro saw after the baseball tournament. The same mysterious girl with the unforgettable figure that had been stuck in his head ever since.
Yeah, boy.
She leans closer and asks if he'll keep coming to the library to see her. Now that Joro realizes she's the girl he's been dreaming about this whole time, he awkwardly agrees. Before he leaves, Pansy gives him a quick kiss on the cheek. She says it's a reward for having such a kind heart. Joro just stands there completely stunned. Still, even after seeing her true appearance, he knows the scary mastermind hiding underneath hasn't changed one bit. Now that his reputation has been restored, life finally returns to normal. Even so, Joro keeps visiting the library, just like he promised Pansy. One day, he decides it's time to ask for another reward. Pansy sighs dramatically, pretending she has no choice. She slowly stands up as if she's about to do something romantic. Instead, she lifts one foot and jokingly offers it to him like a queen, expecting her loyal servant to kiss it. Joro is instantly disappointed. He wasn't expecting that at all. What he really wanted was a nice hug buried between those soft curves she'd been hiding the whole time. Then Pansy's expression turns serious. She explains that she hides her real appearance for personal reasons. She also points out something Joro has been avoiding. The only reason he's been coming to the library lately is because he's hiding from everyone else after everything that happened. He's not coming because he genuinely wants to see her. More importantly, he still doesn't know how to face Tayo, Himawari, or Cosmos. Pansy understands exactly how he feels. She knows he's afraid that trying to apologize will only make things even more awkward. So she gives him one simple piece of advice. Just be honest. Things are already awkward anyway. A little more awkwardness won't make much of a difference. And besides, having friends is always better than being alone. Joro realizes those words come from Pansy's own experience. He quietly eats the cake she baked for him before leaving. As he's about to go, Pansy calls after him and asks if he liked the cake. Joro smiles and says that now he has one more reason to come back. Now it's time to wrap up the story. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Till then, peace out.